Hello and welcome back. You're watching In the Papers, our international press review. Joining me to scan the headlines today is Gulliver Cragg. Good morning, Gulliver.
Good morning, Laura.
Now, we've got a peace deal in Kenya, and as we've been reporting, there are some quiet celebrations on the streets of Kenya. But how is the local press reacting?
With a reasonable amount of optimism, I'd say. A peace deal at last is the headline on the front page of the Daily Nation, and the paper reports that Raila Odinga referred to Mwai Kibaki as President Kibaki for the first time since the disputed election in December. The paper's editorial says that it's possible that every cloud has a silver lining and that this whole crisis could actually eventually lead Kenya to enact constitutional reforms that it's needed for a long time, if everything goes well. On the same page, there's an opinion piece by Lucy Oriang, who says that she thinks that if the peace agreement does work, then it's time for the celebrations to begin. Let the party begin, she says, before going on to say, but there is a lot of hard work to do.
All right, well, moving on. British journalists are falling over themselves this morning to congratulate Prince Harry and praise his courage and his bravery. Now it's emerged he's been fighting the Taliban in Afghanistan for the last 2 months.
Yeah, they certainly are. The third in line to the throne has been serving in Afghanistan. The tabloids are very impressed. There's the Daily Express with Harry, the secret hero. Then the Daily Star puns away with When Harry Met Tally. Inside, the Daily Star has got its headline saying, My fight for Gran and country, instead of Queen and country, Gran and country. The Prince is also quoted in there saying that he thought his service in Afghanistan might have been a bit like what World War II must have been like, but actually what he describes in terms of no man's land and such sounds a lot more like World War I, but we've already been told by the papers that Prince Harry is not academically brilliant. Most of the news, though, is kind of jingoistic. The Sun congratulates him for killing 30 Taliban, apparently. I don't know where they got that figure from, though.
Somewhat stealing the limelight from his big brother there, isn't he, Harry?
Yeah.
All right.
There is a more sober bit about Harry's service in Afghanistan, though, in The Guardian, which combines its coverage of that with a report by US intelligence that, in fact, operations in Afghanistan are not going very well and the security situation there is deteriorating.
The Guardian, no silly headlines there. Right, well, moving on. The joy over 4 more hostages being released by FARC rebels in Colombia has turned to concern for one of their most high-profile hostages, Ingrid Betancourt. What can you tell us about that?
Well, yeah, the VEA, the pro-government paper in Venezuela, is putting the emphasis on the joy, the successful operation to free 4 more politicians held by FARC. Likewise, El Colombiano in Colombia celebrates their emotional reunion with their families. But in Venezuela, El Nacional stresses the bad news that the released hostages had to say about Ingrid Betancourt. She's very ill, and Le Figaro picks up on that on its front page. A race against time to save Ingrid Betancourt is the headline. And inside the paper's got an editorial which is very, very scathing about the FARC, saying, what are they waiting for to free Ingrid Betancourt? They've got nothing to gain. And they also describe her treatment of her as inhumane.
Well, she's apparently suffering from hepatitis B and liver problems, so there's a lot of concern for her this Friday. Now, President Sarkozy has offered to fly into the jungle and rescue him herself. But I understand he said something in not such polite language to a farmer a while ago, and we're still talking about this.
That was a week ago now, but we're still talking about it. It's the controversy surrounding the French president's outburst last week is on the front page of Le Figaro, because there's been a survey showing that more than half of French people were shocked to see their president call somebody at the agricultural fair a total jerk. But Le Figaro,
is that the translation?
Well, there's a variety of different translations you could give. I'll go for what we're allowed to say on air. But Le Figaro, of course, being a right-wing paper, wants to put the evidence more on the fact that in the same survey, 78% of respondents said they feel that the media have made too much of this story. So that's enough about that.
All right. Gulliver Cragg, many thanks for joining us with that press review this morning. That's it for now. Stay tuned. You're watching France 24.